Welcome, restless souls who feed on whispers and wonder. Welcome to the vortex of feelings that keep us awake. You're tuned into Whispers of Turkish Stars, the corner where we listen to the pulse of fame and translate it into heartbeats. Today, my friends, we need to talk about an earthquake. Not the kind that rattles buildings, but one that shakes timelines, wakes up group chats, and makes even the calmest hearts skip a beat. In the last 24 hours, from Istanbul to Rome, from Berlin to Buenos Aires, a quiet night turned into a storm. The protagonist? Our magnetic, complicated, and disarmingly human Gökberk Demirci. If you thought his love story had found a safe harbor, rethink everything. He made a move no one predicted, not even the most seasoned night watchers of celebrity life. A midnight gesture, a cry wrapped in silence, a sign so stark that it left us cold and burning at the same time. Before we pick apart every layer of this mystery, a little pact between us: if you want us to keep pulling on the red thread of this saga, give this investigation a like, subscribe so you never miss a beat, and if you want a front row seat at the most exclusive theories, that join button is your golden key. Ready to decode the hidden language of one heart and the echo it sends to another? Then breathe in, and let's dive. It happened at the stroke of midnight, when the city exhaled and the blue lights dimmed. As many drifted toward sleep or scrolled one last time before surrendering to dreams, Gökberk dropped a story. No smoldering gym snapshot, no polished behind-the-scenes frame from a set. Just a pure void, a black screen. No face. No image. Only darkness. And from that darkness, a song. A melody so aching it felt like a remembered set, lyrics about a love that refuses to fade, choices that cut the soul, and eyes that can brighten the deepest night. It wasn't a post, it was a flare. And in seconds, phones buzzed across continents. Notifications flared like fireworks. The burning question today is sharp and merciless: who was that song for, and what was he truly saying? Is it a signal sent straight to Özge Yagis, the name that lives in his story like ink and paper, the presence that many still see when they look at him? Is it an invitation to the past to step into the light, or a quiet goodbye delivered with tenderness? The fandom is split, and the divide is deep. But to understand, we need to wander through Gökberk's state of mind. People close to him, those who decide to remain anonymous but who know the drafts in his soul, say he has been pensive, wandering, almost stern with himself. During a quiet dinner, between a half-smile and a truth that wanted out, he reportedly murmured, "Sometimes music says what pride refuses to let out, and that song is exactly where I am now." Let's sit with that line: what pride refuses to let out. Pride is the wall that stops a message at the threshold. Pride is the hand that keeps us from dialing the number we know by heart. It blocks the confessions we'd whisper if only we could let ourselves be soft. And in the lyrics of the song he chose, lines glinted like clues, eyes that light up the dark, a laugh missing when morning breaks. If you know the history of Gökberk and Özge, you recognize those images. The smile that filled rooms. The easy, intimate rituals. The morning coffee that tastes different beside the right person. And so the fans split into two houses, each ready to defend their reading like a banner. On one side, the new era believers, those who insist that this is not a plea to go back but an omen of a new chapter, with Özge, as equals, older and wiser, choosing each other with the kind of clarity that only time can carve. Their thesis? A love story can be reborn, not by repeating old steps, but by dancing a new rhythm with the same partner. On the other side, the keep the door shut contingent. Those who think the post was a farewell written in melody, a way of closing the circle with grace. They claim the melancholy wasn't a call, but closure, not a lighthouse, but the final candle. And then, timing revealed its teeth. Just minutes after his story went dark and sweet with sorrow, Özge Yagis posted a photo. Not glossy red carpet, not a brand deal shot, but something simpler and more dangerous: a cafe, light on the table, a hint of steam, a knowing smile that never asks permission. The caption read, "New melodies bring winds of change, and the heart knows its home." A sentence like a warm door opening. It wasn't just pretty words. It was a dialogue. A quiet reply across the same city sky: "I hear you. I'm here. And perhaps, if you are who I think you are tonight, you know where I live in your life." Friends of Özge, the kind who can decode her in one look, whispered in private, Özge knows what she brings. She won't wrestle shadows. If there's a choice, it must be total. That's the posture of a woman who no longer negotiates her worth. But the night had one more turn. Because memory is long and reality is mischievous. Just when the new era tribe felt their theory went from wish to evidence, Özge stepped into the digital light again with her signature brightness, playful, fierce, impossibly poised. She posted a short video of herself dancing, joy spilling over like sunlight, and the morning after, a street clip surfaced. A reporter tossed a casual question about romantic songs and old flames. Özge smiled with that sparkle that makes even silence sound clever, and answered, "The past is a beautiful song I've already danced to, but now I prefer new rhythms that move me toward the future." A line like a wink, like a riddle, like a door opening and closing at once. So which is it? Is she signaling a mature reunion, or is she stepping ahead without looking back? The most attentive, those who have tracked every look since their early days, claim her eyes betrayed a softness that words try to leash. They swear there was a shimmer of ache, a glint of recognition. Others argue the laughter was free of weight, as if the music truly belonged to tomorrow. Is that bright nonchalance a shield, or is it the peace one earns by healing? Tell us what you think in the comments, because this conversation belongs to all of us. And if you want to support the long nights we spend reading between lines and notes, the join button is your ally. Subscribe to Whispers of Turkish Stars so you're never late to the next clue. Now, back to the man who lit the fuse. The silence after his post was thunderous. Yet actions, as ever, shouted. He liked a handful of comments leaning toward a new chapter, but then he scrolled into the archives, letting his fingertips hover over memories, revisiting old frames that no algorithm could bury. That dual motion, forward and back, painted a mind in motion, a soul walking through its own museum. Picture it, Gökberk at home, maybe the Istanbul skyline hushed beyond the glass, replaying the same song until it becomes a mirror. On one side, the calm that comes from two people who have learned the cost of recklessness, who could choose tenderness without theatrics. On the other, the wildfire they once were, the chemistry that sparked headlines and fed a million daydreams. Fans became amateur codebreakers overnight. They took the lyric about morning coffee and pinned it to their ritual, the stolen minutes before the day swallowed them, the laughing quiet that only lovers understand. They tied the phrase about a new light to the cafe caption, seeing a thread stitched clean from him to her. Skeptics countered that sad songs are just songs, that midnight makes poets of us all, that nostalgia is not a contract. But those who read Hearts for Sport insisted, he doesn't send anything without a reason. He is instinctive, yes, but there is method in what he lets us see. In this case, the pulse felt more impulse than plan. A message in a bottle, tossed not to the crowd but to one address. Is it possible he's letting the response write the next page? Waiting for one specific reaction to crystallize his own? In a way, he already got two answers from the same person, a caption like an extended hand, and a dancing laugh that could be either freedom or courage. A risky game, some would say, yet love has always tempted the brave to risk their balance. Özge offers him, depending on the day you look, either a harbor blessed by wisdom or the roaring sea of everything they were. And if you've watched them long enough, you know he has never feared a wave. The circles around her keep their message tight. They say she's grounded, radiant, not in the mood for mess, and yet, they add, where there's smoke, there is almost always a flicker underneath. Maybe the song rekindled a glow that never truly went out. Or maybe it lit the doorway for a new dance between the same two names, with new steps and kinder timing. Watching this unfold in real time, it's hard not to feel with him. We see the image, the charisma, the career, and then we hear the song and remember there's a man who wants to be loved in a way that steadies him. The loneliness of bright lives is a reality many don't see. Perhaps last night, he felt the room grow wide, and sent a sound out into the darkness, trusting that the right ears would catch it. We have arrived at a crossroads. Which version of their story will the next chapter honor? Will he choose the gentler road with Özge, the one that asks for patience, boundaries, and everyday sweetness? Or will he take silence as the final lyric and let that love remain where it shines best, in memory, in lessons, in gratitude that doesn't demand a sequel? Only time will answer, and the next flicker of an Instagram story might tell us more than 1,000 press notes ever could. We at Whispers of Turkish Stars will be here, alert to every breath between words, every caption that doubles as a confession, every pause that means more than speech. If this dive into their unwritten chapter pulled you in, if your heart raced at the possibility of a reunion written with new ink, give this video a like and share it with those who remember how it began. Subscribe so you don't miss the moment when a look becomes an answer. Who do you think Gökberk Demirci is singing to in the quiet of midnight? And what do you believe Özge Yagis meant with her two signals, the open door and the dancing smile? Write it below, the floor is yours. Thank you for being here, for listening between the beats, and for keeping the conversation honest. Until the next tremor. From Whispers of Turkish Stars, we'll keep our ears to the ground, and our hearts ready to translate.